Hello, fifth grade. Today I am going to be helping you label the notes for the accompaniment, the very last song in the recorder karate packet. So, to start, looking at this first line, take a quick glance at the notes and notice there are not very many different ones. How many different notes are there? So take a moment and look and see how many different notes. If you said only 2 different ones, you are correct. So looking at this first note, it's one of the very first notes you learned. So it's a line note, every good. We've got a G right there. Now this next note, it's one of the last ones you learned. And remember, it's the one that's low enough, it is not even on the staff. It's below the staff. And that first note below the staff that touches the first line but doesn't have it go through, that's a D. And then as we come back here, we're right back to G. Remember, only 2 different notes. Now we're down to D, back to G, back down to D. Now the second line. Take a moment, compare the first line and the second line. They're pretty similar. What is the only spot that is different? I'll give you a moment to look. If you said this last measure, you are correct. The first line, it goes down from G to D. The second line, it goes up from D to G. Everything else is the same, so we can quickly label. Same thing, G. Same thing, D. Same thing, G. Same thing, D. Now here's the difference, another D and then a G. Now line 3, so we look at it, it's different. The rhythm's totally different, the notes are different. There's a lot more notes. We're back on the staff though, so checking out that first note, it's a line note. Every good boy deserves fudge. It's a D. Now that's confusing because we've already had a D right here and they look totally different. This is your high D. So to label it, I'm going to put a D with an apostrophe so that we see it's high. Remember, your high D, you play like this, just your middle finger, no thumb. The low D, all 3 of your top fingers and all 3 of your bottom fingers plus your thumb. So you get very different sounds. High D, low D. Very different sounds. Okay, now keeping going, we have, stop. Sorry about that. We have another high D right here. And then we skip down, we're back to that same note we started on. A line note, every good. G, compare these 2 measures. They're the same. So high D, G. Now this one at first glance, it looks similar because it's got the same rhythm, ta, ta, two, but different notes. First note, space note, F, A, C. Same note, C. Line note, every good boy deserves. There's that high D again. Now here's your tricky measure of this piece. C, and then a bunch of notes really fast. High D, C, B, A. In a moment, I'll show you how to do that in slow motion. Now, fourth line. Compare it. What line is it the same as that we've already done? If you said the second line, you are correct. If you said the first line, you're really close, because remember, it's almost the same too, but it ends with D, G, like the second line, D, G. So same thing as the second line, G, D, but your low D, G, D, D, D. So there are the notes for this song. Quick reminder on the fingerings. So that low D, remember that's this one below the staff. All of your fingers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plus your thumb to get that nice low sound. And then this first one, a G, one of the first notes you learned, 1, 2, 3, plus your thumb. And that's all you need for the first two lines. So take a listen to the first two lines. Now, it's got a lot of whole notes in them. Remember, whole notes get 4 beats. We've seen them at the very end of songs, but not usually at the beginning. So in your head, when you play this note, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So here are the first two lines with just D and D. Listen to how slow it goes. 1, 2, here I go. So there are those first two lines with slow whole note, slow twos. Da, da, two, two. So you've really got to keep that beat going in your head. Now, the third line, remember, don't get confused. Even though it says it's a D, it's very different from this D. It's your high D, middle finger, no thumb. Then a G, we've already done that. 3 fingers plus your thumb. Your C, middle finger plus your thumb. It's close to a D. Now this last measure, we have C, D, C, B, A. Listen to this measure slowly. Listen again, watch my fingers. Eventually, it wants to go this fast. Okay, now listen to the last two lines. So this third line and the fourth line. Remember, fourth line will sound the same as the second line, but this third line will be different. I'm starting right here. 1, 2, here I go. So there it is. That's the accompaniment. Now, as you were listening, you might be thinking, why is that the last song? It's kind of slow and it sounds a little boring. It's the last song because what accompaniment means is it means something that goes with the melody of another song. It accompanies it. So this accompaniment goes with Ode to Joy, which was your black belt. So you'll play it at the same time. And as you're noticing, so Ode to Joy, remember, starts with 4 tas. Ta, 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 ta. I'm going to make this smaller so you can see both at the same time. Okay. So your first measure of Ode to Joy, 4 notes. Ta, 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 ta. Your first measure of the accompaniment, only 1. So you have to listen for those 4 sounds. If you check out the video right after this one on the playlist, there's a recording of me playing Ode to Joy and the accompaniment at the same time. I recorded myself playing Ode to Joy and I played the accompaniment over top of it, which is what I'm going to ask you to do too. There's a video showing you how. So, first, just get the accompaniment labeled, learn to play that by itself, then look at the next videos to figure out how it goes with Ode to Joy. Have fun. Bye.